Welcome to Brave New Bookshelf, a podcast that explores the fascinating intersection of AI and authorship. Join hosts Steph Pajonas and Danica Favorite as they dive into thought-provoking discussions, debunk myths, and highlight the transformative role of AI in the publishing industry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Brave New Bookshelf. I'm one of your co-hosts, Steph Pajonas, CTO of Future Fiction Academy, Future Fiction Press, where we teach authors how to use AI in any part of their process. So we're also using AI to help us write and publish books at the Future Fiction Press. So there's lots going on there. It is 2026. Yay! We're back. And I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Danica. Danica Favorite is with me. We were just chatting beforehand, so I'm excited that we can actually chat on camera now, right?
Yes. I think that it will be good. I think behind the scenes, we're doing a lot of cool stuff. So very excited to get in and talk about it. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Danica Favorite. I am the community manager at Publish Drive, where we help authors on every stage of their journey, whether that is getting their AI book cover, their AI book blurb, formatting your manuscript, and then getting your manuscript out there to the world. So, the writing part, Steph and her team can help with, and they've got some really great classes at the FFA about marketing and all the other stuff you can do for success. So if you're here because you're like, okay, 2026 is the year that we're really going to do the publishing thing. Between our two companies, we really have you covered and we can help you. Stay tuned. We've got some really great guests coming up, and I know today Steph and I have a wonderful show for you. So with that, Steph, tell me about 2026.
I know, right? I was just thinking the other day that the uptick of people coming into the AI Writing for Authors group, the people joining the FFA, that has had a huge uptick in the last 2 months. I feel like maybe a lot of authors have set resolutions around AI, right? They're like, maybe this is the year that I actually figure it out because it's not going away. It's just getting more advanced, definitely better at writing, definitely better at images, definitely better at videos, all that kind of stuff. So it's not as if it has gone necessarily or slid backwards. It has just gotten better. And I think that that kind of motivated a lot of people to come and, learn something new, don't you think?
I think so. And I think too, we were just talking about this a little bit. And the other day, gosh, I say it's the other day, I think it was probably a couple weeks ago now, Elizabeth did a live on YouTube about Notion and how great Notion is. And I know Steph is a big, longtime user of Notion. FFA has always used Notion for a lot of things. And I really was trying to learn Notion, and I let my paid subscription slide because I wasn't using the paid features as much. And then in this class that Elizabeth did, and I know Steph will also talk a lot about this as well, it has gotten so much better. And I went ahead and repaid for my subscription to the paid portion because the AI tools in Notion have gotten so much better. I think it's no secret that organization is a problem for me. And I keep saying, help me get organized. And Steph has set up some things in Notion for me, and I kind of use it. And then right now, my Notion looks like this giant dumpster file of boom, I want to remember this. Boom, I want to remember that. And I don't know where anything is, which is exactly like the rest of my life, like my computer and my notebooks and all of that look like. And now I can go into the AI and Notion and be like, tell me about this thing. What have I said about these things? And all of a sudden it brings me up this list. And then the other day I was messaging Steph. I said, Steph, I'm blown away because I said to Notion, I said, hey, I want to create a new writing hub and I want to do this and this and this. Can you help me create it? And literally that's all I said. And the next thing I know, Notion had created this big writing hub with different pages and different things on it right there in Notion. I literally just said, this is what I want. And it did it. So I'm really excited about that. Steph, I want to hear what that experience has been for you because, again, you're kind of my Notion guru. I know that there are other people you turn to be your Notion gurus, but you're mine. And from talking to you, I know you're doing some really cool stuff as well. So I want to hear like the cool stuff you're doing in Notion.
Yeah. So part of the theme of this episode today is going to be about all the different tools and the different processes that we're going to be doing in 2026. Because I feel that there are a lot of authors that are coming into this space now. They haven't been here before. And maybe somebody says, hey, go listen to this podcast because it'll help you get all situated for 2026. And that's what we're here for, right? I think one of the things that we're going to be seeing a lot in 2026, and this has to do with Notion, is a lot of ways that the AI is working agentically. So Danica was just talking about the fact that she went into the Notion AI and said, help me build up a writing dashboard, a hub, so that I can organize my work and I can get it all started. And then Notion went and did that. It has the tools on the back end to say, all right, Danica needs these things. If she needs a page, that will have a database, and the database has these parts of the database, the different functions of the database that it's going to do, the different fields that I'm going to collect data on. And it will even choose icons for things and whatnot. And it makes these pages, makes this database, and then presents it to you and says, here you go. Here's exactly what you need. Now, Notion AI could not do this about like 6 months ago. 6 months ago, they just had a tool that would allow you to create just a database. That was it with their AI tool, right? So you could say, I need a database that's going to collect information about all the books that I publish. So you need to put fields in that database for title and ISBN and genre and pen name and those kinds of things. And the Notion AI could build that database and stick it on a page, which was pretty cool. And we saw that happening and we were like, oh, that's great. I can't believe that it can do that now. And now, though, the AI has gotten even better. Now it can create pages elsewhere. You can tell it what sort of things you want to use as context in your workflow. So, for example, I'm working on the editing of a third book in a series right now. So, I made a space in my Notion that's just for that series. So it's called the whatever series. And inside there, I uploaded the first two books of the whole series. They're in markdown format. It's just text basically, and I just stuck them in there. And then I had the third book in the series where I have all of the different chapters and I've got it all on one page. And so when I started editing this book with Notion, in the AI tool on the right-hand side, I could say, we're going to be editing this book together. I need you to go read the first two books in the series so you know what happened. And then that way you have context to help me edit this third book in the series. And I was like, okay, great, I can go do that because I assigned it and I said, read book one, and then I chose it on the screen. Read book two, chose that one on the screen. Here you go. You have everything you need. And it came back and was just like, I understand what the series is about now. And together we can work on it, right? And as I open up each chapter, I notice things about it that don't necessarily gel with my style. Things that it does that had been written into this book. One of the things was like, it's not a something, it's not a something, it's something else. That pattern I see over and over again that the AI loves to do
so much. It is the worst, and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. God. Some chapters have 5 or 6 times in there, and then also this particular book, which I had used Your First Draft to make, Your First Draft.ai, which is a tool that Future Fiction Academy made. I used an experimental model to write it. So I knew it wasn't going to be awesome or anything like that, but I was doing experiments at the time. So it was fine. But then I get this output and everybody sounds robotic because it wasn't using contractions. It sounded like Data from Star Trek The Next Generation, wouldn't use any contractions. And then there were these weird sentence structures and those sorts of things. And so Notion AI and we were chatting and I said, I really hate this kind of sentence structure. I hate the fact that it does these repetitive things and there are too many words that can be made into contractions. Should be it's. And should be there, and these sorts of things. And by talking about it with Notion AI, and Notion AI was like, okay, I completely understand. Let me give you a report on this chapter about all the things that I can find. And it would be like, bleep, it just really quickly, it gives me a summary of all the things that it thinks it can fix. And I would read it through and be like, yes, 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 love it. And I would tell Notion, fix them all. And you could see it working, which is great. Over on the right-hand side, the chat is going, is running. And then on the left-hand side, I can see it making all of the edits to the chapter, which is great. So I know that it's working. And then at the end, it's like, hey, I'm all done. Okay, so this is a very agentic workflow. It is doing things for me that I have talked about. So it's no longer just taking the whole chapter and rewriting it and spinning it back. It is making tiny little changes as it goes. So I don't have to worry about it changing an entire chapter, making things, changing the motivations or the actual events that happen in that chapter. It's just making all of the little surgical edits. This is something that we've seen in the past year or so with coding tools. Okay, so there are a lot of coding tools on the market for people who are programmers. They're writing Python, or they're writing PHP, or whatever it may be, React, JavaScript, whatever it may be. They're making applications or websites, and they're using tools called IDEs, which is like an integrated development environment. And that is basically like a text tool for programming purposes hooked onto an AI chat. And this is what people use to do vibe coding. Now you probably heard this term before, vibe coding. It's like I tell the AI the kind of app that I want to make. I want to make an app that will track how much water I drink every day, right? And that's all you have to tell the AI. And it's okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to make this file, I'm going to put this code in this file. And it does all of these things. It actually makes files, it puts code in those files. It's very agentic. It can make those things on your computer. You give it like a folder on your hard drive where you say, go put all the files in there, and it can do it. So this is like an agentic thing that wasn't really being applied to writing tools until now. And
Yeah.
now we're
And I
seeing
think it's
it.
cool.
Yeah, now we're
I think
seeing
it's
it, and it's
a
cool.
lot of people have said, I wish the AI could do this. And we're like, yeah, it can't. It is coming, but it can't. And it's here.
It's here. Mhm.
And it really is, like you were saying about the vibe coding and stuff like that. I think a lot of authors were intimidated by the coding piece of that. And now that we have tools that make it as easy as saying, hey, do this thing for me, and I don't have to know code and I don't have to understand how to do it. It's, oh my gosh, this is so easy.
Right. And so now we've been seeing this for the last year with tools like Visual Studio, Cursor, and whatnot. These are tools that programmers are using in order to code and vibe code and do their business to make applications or websites or whatever. And then at the end of the year, it's like the end of November 2025, Google launched their own IDE. It's called Antigravity. And I was like, oh, look, they have a Cursor competitor. I'm going to go check it out because my coding friends, I have a few of them, told me that they were trying it out and it was really cool. It was still in beta. So, what Google was doing was they were allowing people to use all of the AI chat for free. And the models that were included were like Gemini 3, which is fairly new and very robust and whatnot, a Google. So that was the Google Gemini 3. They also had Claude, Opus 4.5 was added in there, Sonnet 4.5, and I feel like there was another, oh yes, and of course ChatGPT 5.2 is in there as well. And I was like, oh, all of these tools are available for free. All of this chatting is available for free. Instead of getting it to write an application, I'm going to see if I can get it to write a book. Now, a book is complicated, right? We have lots and lots of words. If you consider each chapter like a file, lots of files to look at, and the AI has to know to go look at its code base, which is its context, to see what has happened already in the programming of something so that when it programs something new to add on to it, it knows not to break things that it made before, right? Same thing applies with writing books. Obviously, you don't want to resurrect a dead character. You don't want these kinds of inconsistencies in your narrative. And by putting everything into a tool like this, where it can go and it can look at those chapters, it can understand the context for the entire book or even an entire series. You can put your other books in there, right? Then you get a chance to finally have a tool that can reference files, reference your older material, and write better for you. And that was a breakthrough moment for me. I was like, oh, wait a second. I don't necessarily need Claude projects or any of these other tools. I can use this instead. So that was a really cool moment too. And I started talking about it with everybody. I got very excited
No,
about
I
it.
think it's great because you were talking about it. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to check this out. I will say I had a small little hiccup trying to install it. But, and then you said something about, oh, I put it on my Dropbox as opposed to in my computer. And I'm like, oh. And so now I'm in the process of moving it from my computer to Dropbox and all of that
Well, you can
because,
install it on your computer, but when
right, your
you
folders.
go, yeah, the folders where all the code or your book go
Yes.
are on my Dropbox, so that this way, if I accidentally blow it away, which can happen, and it has happened to people, you tell Antigravity to delete something and it goes and deletes the entire book. At least I know it has been backed up by Dropbox and I can just go to Dropbox and be like, restore those files, please.
Right. Yes. Yes. And I love that you gave that tip because I was like, okay, I would be the dummy who deletes everything by accident because I do that anyway. So I really appreciated that because it was amazing. I did a little test. I can just say that I'm doing this because number one, it will be released under pen name and God only knows when it'll be done. But I'm writing an octopus book. Uh,
Octopus romance book, right?
Octopus romance books. I'm gonna get on. I, for whatever reason, TikTok started feeding me octopus content of like people like videoing their octopus in a tank. It's fascinating. It is
Mhm.
so fascinating how smart they are. And now, of course, it's feeding me more. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said TikTok. It's Instagram because I'm not on TikTok. But like I'm watching it and now all I do whenever I'm doom scrolling is I just watch octopus videos. So I'm like, I should write a romance about this. So that's what I decided to do. And again, don't put high hopes on this one. But I started it in ChatGPT. I liked where ChatGPT was going, but ChatGPT was like very sciencey about it.
Mhm.
And so then I got on Antigravity and I said, Antigravity, this is what I want to do. Research it for me, et cetera, et cetera. Let me tell you what Antigravity can do. ChatGPT can't do it because obviously it's not that same agentic style. And none of the other systems have done it as well as Antigravity, where I go in and I told it what I wanted it to do. It went out to the web. You have to give it permission to go out to the web. It went, it researched all the octopus books on Amazon. It gave me all of the popular tropes, all of the trending stuff. Like I had probably within 5 minutes, it opened 50 tabs of research, bringing me back specific books of exactly what I asked it for.
Wow,
Right.
that's awesome.
And I was like, oh my goodness, it just did in 5 minutes all this market research that how many of you have done market research and done that deep level and it's been hours and you still don't have 50 books, but Anti-Gravity found me these 50 books. It told me what it needed to do. I plotted out this octopus book. It too went a little too sciencey for my taste. And we had a discussion about that. And then it went more towards what my taste would be. And then I said to it, okay, great. So we've got like this concept that's to my taste. How will this do competitively against all these books that you've researched? And it's, oh, okay, here's what you need to do. And I was absolutely blown away because all of that work that you and I would have done in all kinds of different models, all kinds of different ways, it was all right there in that same wrapper. And I was just like, oh my gosh, it's all here.
Mhm.
And like, we still have to have more conversations about what to do. I've got part of a first chapter, but I don't like it. And I haven't had time to really dive deep into it. But like, this really is where the future is going. And when we talk about, did you write it or did the AI write it? Yeah, the AI did a lot of the heavy lifting, but all of it was me going back and saying, okay, yeah, but let's tweak this. Let's do this. Like, it was all my style, my taste, things that I prefer. And like you were saying about the contractions and things like that, like going back and having that conversation to say, hey, this is great, but I need some contractions. I had this conversation on something else I had written with ChatGPT, and rather than just changing the contractions, ChatGPT rewrote the whole thing,
Right.
which is what ChatGPT does.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of this and why I love we're having this conversation is really figuring out the right tool for the job. And right now, I know, Steph, you've talked about what your tools are for this year in other posts online, but these are the top two right now because, and I just know you've said that, but these are my top two as well because just the sheer power of it. And I will still use a lot of ChatGPT, mostly because I have ChatGPT so well trained that it mostly does what I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to be giving up their
Yeah.
main chat utilities to do
Yeah.
all of these things. Like I'm a Gemini fan still. It's
Mhm.
the only subscription that I have, which is the Google One, which is also very helpful for using anti-gravity because it gives me more daily usage with their AI, by the way. So if you're into this whole thing and you're already a Google customer, I highly recommend getting Google One, which will give you Gemini Pro in their gemini.google.com chat. It'll give you more drive space and a few other things, including more usage on anti-gravity as well. So I'm not going to be giving up my chat, and I'm not giving up on Typing Mind either, which is also my general chatting tool. I use it for a lot of things when it comes to business and like my work and whatnot. But when it comes to writing, I'm doing the majority of it either in Antigravity or in Notion because they both have these agentic properties. The kinds of things that Antigravity can do, like going out and making files. Danica could say she did all that research with Gemini. She can, excuse me, with Antigravity, she can tell Antigravity, now take all of that research and put it into files in this folder so that I have it for later and I can go look at it if I need to. Also, the AI can go look at it as well and use it as context for writing in the future, right? Same thing with Notion AI. You can do a lot of chatting with it, brainstorming. I'm working on a series of books that will reference a previous series that I've written. I was like, okay, I'm ready to write a sort of like sequel series to the sequel that I to this series that I had earlier. It's going to take place 15 years after the end of the first series. So I had it all in Notion AI and I had a brainstorming session with Notion AI. I showed it the original series and I said, here's my ideas for this follow-up series that I want to do. And we had a huge brainstorming session. And I just kept saying, okay, write it to the brainstorming file, write it to the brainstorming file. And it would update the brainstorming file with all of my information. And then therefore, if the chat should suddenly disappear or something someday, it doesn't matter because that information is still in there. It's still in Notion. I can just go grab it and start a new chat if I want to. I'm really digging on all of these tools that are helping me stay within one place, use information that I already have instead of having to like re-enter it like over and over again, and stops me from constant like copying and pasting. There's so much repetitive motion with that.
Yeah, I think that is the big advantage of not having to do that copy paste because, like I said, like, fortunately, we don't have to have a show me your Notion type game because I would win messiest, most crazy looking Notion ever because I've got Notion on my phone. And so a lot of times, like when you're scrolling and I read an interesting article, I will like snip it to Notion because there's a tool that you can do that. You just share it right to your Notion. And the downside of that is that the way that it shares the Notion sometimes is it will share to whatever last page you are on or anything if you're not paying attention. And so I've had it share to so many weird places. And like now I can say, hey, Notion, I've done all of these different pieces of research on this particular topic. Could you please pull this all together for me in one page? And it will do it. And again, for someone like me who's not very organized or has a hard time remembering where you filed something, like that's the other big thing. If I have it all in Notion, Notion remembers for me. And I say remembers, it doesn't remember, it can just search it for me.
Yeah.
And I really love that because now that gives me the freedom to not have to worry, okay, how do I remember where I saved it? How do I remember how to do it? It remembers it for me and that frees it up for me because that's the other thing, right? Is like I said, I've got my phone. How many of us when we're out think about, oh, you're thinking about a story and you've got a story idea. Well, and I know a lot of people will chat with Claude or do stuff like that on their phone. I can do that in Notion. And going back to the Octopus books, I also did this in Notion where I was chatting with Notion on my phone because I was waiting for something. It was like some really crazy long line. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to, oh, I know it was. I was getting my emissions done. So I'm just sitting in my car waiting for my turn. It was like a 45-minute wait. And I'm on my phone and I'm just like, okay, Notion, well, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And it becomes more conversational. And again, like it's you as an author talking about what your desire is for that book or for whatever that is that you're writing. You're driving the bus. And so it's your thoughts, your work, all of those things that you're doing. It's just doing what you tell it to do. And now, like, because it is so much more conversational, in the beginning, you and I would talk about being prompting ninjas. You don't have to be a prompt ninja because I had no idea how to prompt how to make me this table and this organizing thing because I don't even understand how to do tables and organizing things anyway. And so to say, could you please do this for me? It was like, boop, here you go. Have a nice day.
Thank
It
you.
didn't say have a nice day, but I may start training it to say that.
Boop, here you go. Have a
Yep.
nice day. Right? I think that 2026 for me is going to be a year where I pick up where I left off on a lot of things. 2025 was a little rough. It was it was a tough year personally. My father passed away in October. It was just a lot of work and a lot of hustle, and I was traveling a lot, and I was glad to see my friends and everything, but traveling does take a lot out of you, whatever. So there were a lot of projects that I started either in 2024 or 2025 that I like abandoned, but they still were living in the back of my head, and I was thinking about them a lot, and I'm ready this year to take them on. A lot of them I'm able to do that now because I kept my notes in Notion for so long, right? Now the tools weren't that great last year or the year before, but now they're ready to take on these bigger projects that I have that I've been working on. Let's just say, for example, I have a Substack, right? So it's spajonas.substack.com. I talk about AI and authorship there. And I was pretty steady about it May through October. And then my father passed away, and I wanted to take some time off to grieve, spend time with my family, and do all that kind of stuff. So I let that Substack go. But I had been writing the articles in Notion as I was working. So I was working with Typing Mind and brainstorming out my articles for Notion, and then I would copy paste them over into Notion, and then I would revise them a little bit there and then copy paste them into Substack from there. So that my workflow was typing mind to Notion over to Substack. So I had all the articles in Notion already. And instead of going back to typing mind, now I can just do it all in Notion. So I opened up an AI agent again in Notion the other day and I said, hey, I took some time off for personal reasons and I really want to start up my Substack again. So go read all these articles that I read, that I wrote, and they're in the database. So go look at them, read them through, understand the way that I talk, the way that I write in my Substack, and give me some ideas for how to come back. And it was just like, why don't you talk about coming back after a break? I was like, great idea, AI. I love it. So
Yeah.
it helped me write that article, helped me hone in on my themes and the things that I wanted to talk about. And we wrote it together there in Notion. And then boom, it went straight over to Substack and I was able to start it right back up again. These are the tools that I'm going to be using this year to, get back to writing, to get back to old projects that I had left behind. And that is truly exciting to me. I'm really excited about 2026.
And I'm excited for you because again, we've been friends for so long and I've heard about these projects. I'm like, where are, and I'm also the same way because as a lot of you know, I got divorced. The divorce was a lot harder on me than I thought it would be. And it's still, I was just telling Steph, it was a very hard holiday for me emotionally. And I had a lot of really cool plans of things I was going to do over the holidays. I had some time off. I thought, yes, I'll get all this stuff done. I didn't. I grieved. And that's okay. And that's also going to be a theme for me in 26 is I'm not really setting resolutions and goals and things. And it's so funny that you're talking about your Substack because my Substack, which is danicafavorite.substack.com, is also kind of I'm doing the same thing where I had this really great plan and I was going to move forward and I was going to build all this cool stuff and I just couldn't. But like Steph, back in the early days of Notion, I got on the Notion bandwagon. And even though my Notion is way messier than Steph's, and seriously, you guys have no idea how bad it is. But I still stuck with it, even when I got to that point. And I had a conversation with Steph about this. I said, Steph, I don't know if I should renew my subscription because I don't feel like I'm really using this piece. And Steph was like, you know what? I wouldn't because you can do everything you want with the free subscription. And I was like, okay, cool. And now I'm picking back up the paid because the AI has gotten so much better. And that's something I really want people listening or watching on YouTube. Please like and subscribe us on YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. We're adorable. Steph's got a really cute Duolingo guy behind her. Who doesn't want to see that? But anyway, if you're like me and you're like, oh, I stopped the subscription, that's okay because the tool just gets better. And the nice thing about Notion, particularly, is because it has that free tier, all of your stuff stays on there. You haven't lost anything. And even after I let go of my paid subscription, I was still adding stuff to it. And like Steph, I was putting my Substack ideas into Notion. I was, if I find the interesting article, it goes into Notion. Everything is in there. Everything lives in Notion. And so now that I'm like, okay, I feel like I finally have that bandwidth. I've let go of enough of the grief that I can start moving forward on all these projects. Here by the side of my desk, there have been parts of me that say, oh, I just need to take this down. And now I look at it, I have this kind of diagram of all of the writing that I had planned on doing kind of pre-divorce at the very beginning of my divorce when I was excited and I had like new divorce energy. And it was all organized and this is what I was going to do. And then I just couldn't. And of course, also, as Steph and I talk about a lot, we have perimenopause brain. And that adds another layer of complexity to our ability to handle all these tasks. And now I'm like, okay, I can handle these tasks. And it's funny because I'm looking at this little chart of all the stuff that I want to do. I'm like, oh, there's probably like 20 more books on that chart that I will probably be able to accomplish, maybe not all in 1 year, because there's a lot of books on there. But I can at least start making headway and start making progress because I have a plan of attack. And one of the things I've been talking about lately on my Substack is this idea of 2026, and that I currently do not have the go-getter, new year, let's set some goals, let's push ahead energy. And part of that I have figured out because I've been doing some really weird deep dive studies into this. This will eventually be a Substack post. So you may listen to this and then read it on Substack, or you might read it on Substack and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember her she wrote about this already." Because we'll see when this comes out. But January 1st is this social construct created by the Gregorian calendar, and it isn't the way the natural year falls. And so a lot of people keep talking about, oh, it's the year of the horse. No, it's not the year of the horse because that's Chinese New Year, which doesn't happen until February 17th. And so also, like the natural New Year, the way that the natural rhythms go, that isn't until the spring equinox, you guys. And so some of you are going to look at this title and you're going to start hearing all the New Year's plans and you're like, I don't feel this new year. You know what? It's okay. You don't have to, because I'm not. I'm totally, even though I'm telling you some of these things I'm excited about, I'm also not in push forward energy. I'm in, okay, I'm going to lay on my couch for a while, watch the Death in Paradise Christmas special, which was excellent, by the way. God, I love Selwyn. Oh, he's my favorite. And that's what I'm going to do. And I might pick up my phone and do a little bit of, okay, Notion, hey, let's research some more octopus stuff. Cool. Put that octopus stuff in my file. And then when I finally write the octopus book, if I do write it, it's going to have 1,000 pages of stuff that I've pre-done because that is how I tend to work. And so some of you are like, yeah, I'm not ready for all this. And I just want to encourage you and say, you don't have to be. Because, like I said, a few months ago, Notion couldn't do this. Antigravity is 2 months old at this point. Not even 2 months old, actually, I think.
No, I think it's less. Yes.
Yeah. And so these are brand new tools, and we are just now seeing these pieces, which, as we've been telling you all along, it's only going to get better. And so by the time you feel ready, maybe it is you get that spring energy like I'm hoping for. And in the spring, you're like, oof, push forward. Or maybe you're dealing with a death in the family. Maybe you're dealing with a divorce or some other life change. Maybe you have a health crisis. Both Steph and I were sick over the holidays. We didn't do anything. And so this is your big permission slip not to do all the things
It's
because they will
totally
still be here.
fine. They will still be here.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely have a lot of New Year's energy. My birthday is January 18th, so it's coming up. We're recording this on January 9th. I will be 50 years old. Hurrah! Yay! Dana is giving me the thumbs up. So this is my season. I'm Capricorn. I'm in Capricorn season. I get a lot of excitement and energy during this season. It was funny that you mentioned the whole Chinese New Year thing. Everybody says, oh, 1976, you're born in the year of dragon. I have to tell them I was born in January, and that's actually a rabbit. And so, no, I'm not a dragon, I'm a rabbit. But anyway, so I have a lot of energy for this right now. And so maybe you're listening to this or watching this and you're thinking, oh, I definitely do not have Stephanie's energy when it comes to this. And that's okay. It's all right. You will come into your season. In general, I get a lot of energy at the very beginning of the year and then at the very beginning of the school year, which is like September here in North America. So I get like a really big peak of energy and then it slowly goes down and then it peaks again. So probably like around May or June, I will be much less exuberant at that time and probably looking to do a little bit more of a relaxing time. And that's great for me too, because I love the summer. So it comes around with the summertime and I'm like, yeah, great. It's time to sit on the beach. It's time to get a little bit of a breather and be a little bit more relaxed. So it's totally fine. But let's talk about a little bit about some resources people can use to get through their 2026 using AI. I wanted to bring up the awesome Joanna Penn with the Creative Pen podcast. She also has a Patreon where she talks a little bit more about AI because that seems to be what her audience wanted. They wanted a little bit less AI on the podcast and then a little bit more AI in the Patreon. So I wanted to encourage people to go join her Patreon because she is showing off a lot of the AI tools and whatnot. And that's really great because she has a lot of excitement as well for these tools, just like we do. I also want to mention that we have, of course, the Mastermind Accelerator, blah, 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 at Future Fiction Academy that we're all rolling underneath just like one membership. It'll just be called FFA membership by the time you watch this or whatever. That way it makes it easier for people to find things. I've been getting emails from people being like, is the accelerator the thing I sign up for? No problem. We're going to make that a little bit easier for you to understand. And also the AI Writing for Authors group on Facebook that Danica helps me with, where she's one of our moderators. She's in there talking to people, helping them out, along with me and Kevin and Heather and Elizabeth and West as well, one of my coworkers. So we have a lot of tools for you besides these ones we've been mentioning here, like Antigravity and Notion. And of course, there are always the standbys of Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini. There are also all of the writing tools out there like Raptor Write, Novel Crafter, Suda Write, etc. So there's lots of things for you to go and check out now. They're a lot more mature than they were in the last year or so. Things have gotten really exciting. And actually, Joanna Penn just talked about this. She was saying that back like 10 years ago, Joe Conrath had a blog post about the tsunami of crap and about how people feared that they would get the tsunami of crap from independent authors, indie authors. Of course, it didn't turn out that way. He was saying people were worried about that and they didn't need to be. And now we're not getting the tsunami of crap. We are getting the tsunami of excellence, right? Because these tools are actually really good writers now. And I think unless you work with them consistently and understand their little quirks and the way that they write and all their little AI isms, you're probably not even going to know that you're reading AI work. So all of the books that are coming out are probably going to be pretty good as long as the author has taken the time to go through, make sure everything makes sense, make sure that the prose is well edited and whatnot. You are never going to be able to tell. So now is the time to really learn these tools because you'll be able to be competitive in the same market with all of those people.
Exactly. And I think that's the important thing too about when you're saying, okay, I'm not ready, I don't have time to learn all these things. One of the things that Elizabeth said a few months ago, and I can't even remember if it was like in a post or in a class or just her and I talking, but she said, just pick something and learn how to use it and just be good at something because those skills will translate into other AIs. Like I know ChatGPT really, really well. I know Gemini really well. I never did much with Claude because it just was not, I didn't have the bandwidth, to be very honest. And when I tried it, it didn't work as well as I wanted it to. And I was like, I can get the results I need out of all these other tools, so I'm not going to learn it. But, once I started to pick up Notion and Antigravity, I knew how to use them. And that's all you want to do is play around. And so here's what's going to happen. This is my prediction for me and Steph. And it may be 2026. It might be 2027. Who knows? But at some point, you're going to see this avalanche of content from me and Steph. Although a lot of mine will be a pen name because I have, again, a Steph too. But like on this chart, I've got like me and a couple of pen names that I want to do stuff under. And the flood of content isn't going to be because we popped a prompt into AI and it made us 20 books. It's going to be because she and I have been behind the scenes, slowly and steady, plugging along, learning what we can, putting in different notes about different projects and different ideas. And so that when that time comes, it's all going to come out. And like she was saying about the tsunami of excellence, that's what it's going to be, is it's going to be really well written. It's going to be very well conceived because we've spent so much time in the back end doing all of this stuff that people may not be seeing or noticing, but it's there. And so don't beat yourself up if you're not coming up with the stuff. And the tides are changing. It's so interesting because we were talking about a potential guest, and I had told Steph, I said, it's really weird that this person wants to be on the podcast because I didn't think they were very AI friendly. But clearly, this person has come around. And so I'm going to be having a conversation with this person, and they may or may not be a guest after the conversation. We'll see. But that's what I'm seeing is a lot of these people who were staunchly anti-AI are now quietly learning it, quietly picking it up. And honestly, the ones who are still staunchly anti-AI, A, they're using it without knowing it. B, they're secretly using it because I can tell. And C, they're at some point, they're going to have no choice but to use it. And it's going to be a case of, okay, now they have to use it. They don't know how. And now they're left behind because they fought it for so long. And I read an article about this adoption phase of different products and different ideas and things like that. And the people who fight it the most end up not succeeding because they spent all of their energy fighting while everyone else was learning. And they're putting AI in everything. In a previous episode, I was talking about how my mom was like handing me her phone saying, take this AI stuff off of it. And I'm like, Mom, you can't. And yeah, you can start going out, and I see these posts in writer groups all the time. Well, what's a word processing software that doesn't have AI? Well, I guess you could use Notepad at this point.
I mean, Scrivener still doesn't have it, but I can't imagine it's going to be long before they cave.
Yeah. Yeah. And Scrivener is its own learning curve.
Oh, yeah.
So, and this isn't me saying, hey, you have to do this, but for those of you who are scared and you're afraid of backlash, you need to know you're not alone. And what I have found is that rather than being the tsunami of crap, AI has made me a better writer. It has helped me become a more critical thinker because, how many of you have seen the posts about, ooh, the AI tell is the M dash, M dash lover pre AI.
Same, same.
But now, because I know that every time I use an M dash in my writing, whether it's I've written it myself or AI has helped me write it, I'm going to be accused of using AI. First of all, I don't care if you think I've used AI or not. I don't care. But now when I want to put in an M dash, I really think, is this the best punctuation choice?
Same. I was just doing the
Whereas,
same thing.
yeah. Whereas before, I would sit there and I didn't care. I would just M dash all over the place and it didn't bother me. And now I'm like really thoughtful in my punctuation choices of, okay, does this need an M dash? Can I make this more clear? Can I do it this way? How can I do it? We were talking about sentence constructs that in the past I thought was a really nice construct, but now I freaking see it in every ad. I know people, if you're using AI for your ads, I guarantee you the construct will be there. It isn't this, it's this. Okay? It's a tell in my opinion, but I also know that there are people who are going to be using it intentionally, but the people who choose to use it have done so with the care and intention of this is the best sentence construct for this place, and that's okay. But because it's requiring me to more critically think about my writing and what I'm choosing to put in my writing and why, I'm a much better writer. And I'm really grateful that I've taken this time to learn. And so I hope that's what other writers do too, because, let's bring on that tsunami of excellence and really show people what we can do now that we have mastered. And I don't think you'll ever master it. There's always something to learn. But now that we've mastered those basic skills of how to work with the AI.
Yeah, go out there and be excellent with it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Progress, not perfection. People,
absolutely.
let's remember that. Progress, not perfection. It works if you're working out and you're lifting weights. It works if you're trying to write a book as well. All right. So let's try to remember that a lot of this is progress. It's progress to as well for AI companies to be making better models, make better chats, make better applications that use these things. It's also the same for us. We're making progress on our journey towards being better writers. We're not trying to be perfect about it, but we are trying to be intentional about it. You can be intentional and use these tools. Absolutely 100%. A lot of people out there think that we're pressing a button and that's it, and we're not giving any critical thought to things, but that is not true. We are definitely excited about the process, excited about the brainstorming and the actual output that we get, and then editing that to our level of perfection and then publishing. So it is not an easy button in any way, shape, or form. And I think that this year we're going to be working really hard on that.
Yeah. And I do think to add to the easy button piece, there are people who have created easy buttons. And I know we're going to have a few of them on the show coming up, but the reason they have created this easy button and the reason their easy button works is because of the level of thought and intention they put into creating the easy button, into training the AI, into learning how to work with the AI, into learning all of the things that we're talking about. And so, again, those easy buttons required a lot of thought and training. Are there people out there who will claim to have easy buttons that are absolutely terrible because they don't have that thought and intentionality? Absolutely. But I think what Steph and I really advocate, and the people that we have on our show are going to be those people who have put that intentionality and that excellence into what they're doing and really take that and understand that if we're talking to you about someone, if we're telling you about a product, it is because we know the excellence thought that's going behind it.
Yeah, nothing comes from a vacuum. The Your First Draft.ai that we work on with the Future Fiction Academy, that's the result of many months worth of prompting and like understanding processes, understanding automations, and our easy button that you press runs like a whole bunch of systems in the background that didn't just come out of nowhere. They came out of a lot of intentional work on our part. And even so, Your First Draft.ai is not easy either. You still have to fill out a huge worksheet, understand your characters, give the AI direction, and do all that kind of stuff. So even the stuff that we say is easy is not always easy. What are you
I
going
think
to do?
that's also a good point too, is, because I've played with your first draft. I haven't gotten results I've liked from it, but it is because like I assumed, oh, this is going to be so easy. And then I got into the weeds of doing all the stuff. I'm like, oh, wait, I still have to do the work. And that is also what's really important for people to realize is you're still going to have to put in the work. And the people who I see succeeding with AI as authors who are selling very well with their AI generated books, they're people who know how to be authors and they're people who know how to write a book. And again, if you're not ready, that's okay. And if you're never ready and you never use AI to write a book, that is okay too. It's all about honing your skills and doing what's best for you.
Absolutely. All right, I think that's a great place to end our conversation.
Yeah. Go out and be excellent.
Yeah, we want you guys to go out there and be excellent. So we're not going to hold you up any longer. You're going to be done with this podcast today as you're listening to it, and you're going to be like, oh, I want to go out there and write. I'm going to go out there and use these tools, and we're going to help you do that. So why don't you close your little app on your phone and whatnot and go over to bravenewbookshelf.com and check out the show notes from this particular episode, because we'll include links to all the stuff that we've been talking about, like Antigravity and Your First Draft, and of course Publish Drive and Future Fiction Academy and all that great stuff, so that you guys can go out there and get that work going. I'm sure you're just as excited about it as we are.
Absolutely. Yeah. So make sure you are going out also on all the socials, liking and subscribing, Future Fiction Academy, Future Fiction Press, Publish Drive. We just have the Facebook page and YouTube for Brave New Bookshelf, but really the more likes, subscribes, shares that you guys can give, the better, because that helps spread the word. And that's what we're here to do, because
That
we really
is,
want everybody to succeed.
we do. We want you all to succeed and go out there and really just bang it out in 2026. You got this. We know you
Yes.
do. Okay, so from Danica and me, we're going to say goodbye now, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Brave New Bookshelf. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. You can also visit us at bravenewbookshelf.com, sign up for our newsletter, and get all the show notes.